Guys, finally, 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 guys. Prejudging went down in Orlando, and we waited this for a long time, haven't we, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Guys, Nigel, we were not sadly, we had a good time, but we weren't there. Nigel, you were
Yes,
in
sir.
Orlando, and first let me introduce Chris Griffin. Thanks for coming back on. I love that video you did that you switched to Derek Lunsford yesterday. You remember?
Yes, I remember. That was a great video call on my part.
Yeah, you should have kept it the same way.
Yeah, I really should have.
Where did you have him originally before you changed? Just for people can remember. Where did you have him first? The first
I had
video?
Kamal in first.
And,
I had Kamal in first.
and then yesterday you saw the press conference. And he saw Derek looked so good that he made a video that we put into our latest video, Chris. You can check it out with David Otonga and Minna Paolini and Anna Banks and Kaiki. And Nigel, you were there. Let's go straight into it. Since you were there, give us our thoughts about the 212 class.
First of all, the 212 class was awesome. I mean, if everybody brought it to that level, this is going to be a great Olympia. It already is to begin with. I might say that the Olympia probably needs to stay in December. Everybody's coming in great shape. So maybe it's because the length of time and everything. But to me, listen, the person who really wowed everybody was Sean. Sean looked nutty. I don't think, to me, he didn't even lose a shot. Now, the only thing that I will say about Sean, with reference to Camille, because I have Camille in second, even though I originally had, Camille winning it, is that Camille has such a complete physique and he has that old man grainy muscle that's beautiful, that I think that might be the nod. If Camille comes in a little bit sharper during the night, and actually and Sean stays the same like he did last year, then Camille will win. Sean needs to progress. He needs to do something different, be a little like 5% sharper, and then he will win the night. But if he doesn't, Camille will win the night because Camille's not going to be off. Camille's nowhere near being off at all. And then the second surprise was the fact that, well, it wasn't a surprise to me that Derek, to me, he wasn't even the top three. I'm not really understanding how they had him in the top three to begin with. I was more impressed by Angel and by Ahmad. Both of those guys looked incredible. I mean, Angel is a freak of nature that is just, it's bizarre how much weight and how much muscle that guy carries and how thin he is. Like, his skin is so thin. I saw him in the gym yesterday and it was an incredible sight, really. So, to me, right now, Sean has it. He could lose it. He just needs to win it. And he could lose it like he did last year, because if you remember correctly, to me, Sean won last year. Hands down, I thought Sean was the winner. The only difference was Camille came back better and Derek came back better as well, and Sean stayed the same. So my advice to Sean is don't stay the same. Get sharper. It's yours to win. It definitely is.
Chris Griffin, let's go to you. What's your thoughts after prejudging after the 212 class?
Well, first, I'm super shocked. I mean, not shocked, but super impressed with Sean Clarita. We were looking at a mini Flex Lewis out there. A Flex Wheeler out there.
Wow.
So big, round, winning shots. Then you have Kamal, Kamal has a very, very perfect physique. And he was just shredded beyond belief. And then there's Lunsford. He was flat, kind of washed out. I honestly think he got a gift placement because I had George ahead of him. I had Angel ahead of him. Ahmad ahead of him. And maybe, what was that Russian guy? I can't remember his name.
Ola, yeah.
It was very good.
If I was judging, I'd have Lunsford would be battling for sixth right now. Not trying to be negative, but he just wasn't there. He just wasn't there.
He was way off.
And as far as I'm looking at it tonight, I would have Sean in the lead, but to be the king, you got to kill the king. And he hasn't killed Kamal yet. And they're coming out tonight. And Kamal has Chris Aceto in his corner. Chris Aceto's a great coach. Clarita has Matt Jansen in his corner, who's a joker.
Guys, he's right to his opinion. Let's be respectful, but you're right to say your opinion. Okay.
Sorry.
I just thought it was funny.
Anthony. Let me introduce Anthony. He is a bodybuilder in NPC. He's on the come up.
Yeah.
And what's your thoughts after the 212 prejudging?
Well, the prejudging, first of all, I saw Kamal. He looked class. He looked very elegant in his posing. He just showed such confidence up there, and he brought it. He definitely brought it. Sean Clarita, he was really full, shredded as well. I'm not 100% sure who's got this, but in my opinion, Kamal's going to take it because he's just more complete. He's a bit more aesthetics in certain poses than Sean. But Sean has such an amazing package that he could dethrone him also. That's my opinion.
George, how did you see? We saw it. We all saw it. And I thought us in the studio, we were really. For us, it looked like Sean Clarita and Kamal were the one we looked most at. Would you agree?
Yeah.
How did you see it?
When I watched it, I was thinking, wow, look at Kamal. My eyes got drawn to Kamal in every pose. Now, I know Sean has improved a lot. I think he's about 10, 15 pounds heavier, just as lean.
And the waist is the same?
So, Sean Clarita, I thought he should have been second last year. But I don't think he's going to take Kamal.
Okay.
I think Kamal, he's got better V-taper. He looks more aesthetic. He's not got any weak poses whatsoever. Now, Angel Calderon, he weighed in with his tracksuit on at 206. He's still got about another
Yep.
8 pounds to put on in that class.
Incredible.
Could you imagine him maxed out? He was amazing.
Kid is crazy.
Absolutely.
Crazy. And he's crazy strong, too.
Now,
I've never seen anything like it.
I've got a feeling that Derek Lunsford, I had him pretty low down as well, Chris. I think he's going to sneak third or fourth. I think that's how the judges are going to put it. I wouldn't put it that way because I don't think he deserves it.
May I ask why you think that? Why do you think they'll go that way?
I don't think he looked sharp enough. I don't think he looked full enough. When he did a front double bicep, he normally overwhelms people, but he didn't overwhelm Kamal and Clarita. He didn't. They just looked.
So Samson, as a top IBB pro, how did you see? You were in the Pop Media Studios. We watched it live. Great time, full of energy. Yeah, great guys. First, we want to say this was great to see bodybuilding again. How long have we waited for this Olympia? We've been talking about this Olympia since what? February? You saw
January.
it now. You were supposed to be there. We were, but we saw it. How did you see the 212 class?
First and foremost, man, with everything else happened this year, it was kind of like a given. Okay, is the Olympia going to happen?
Yeah.
Is it going to be pulled out? Whatever. And the fact that they actually managed to have the show happen in this time of year, I gotta say, my hands up to them.
Yeah.
That's one hell of a job.
Jake Wood.
Yeah.
Jake Wood. Wow.
Yeah.
Gotta be impressed. Even the fact that they had to move cities just to have it happen, you gotta give props, man.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying, look,
Agreed.
we can't do it this year. So heads up, just completely hands down for that. That's a beautiful job. Well, the 212 class, first and foremost, Angel. We saw filters of him a few weeks ago coming to the show. And we all, we might be bored, but we all saw it go, he looks good, but he doesn't look tight enough yet. And then he comes up on stage today, and you think, whoa, wait, hold on. What photos were you posting a few weeks ago? What happened? Like, wow. He really impressed. I gotta say, man, heads up. Man, 212, they stepping up. And the waist size on him, wow.
Can we say he was overlooked last year?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Yeah,
keep going.
I
Yeah.
think it was 10th last year.
Keep going,
Yeah,
please.
just think, what a jump. Wow. You know what? Honestly, in my opinion, easily, have him 4th place.
Wow, that high.
I would actually have him that high.
What
you know?
on what on
On just pure, improvement on him. Really, the shape, the steady way he poses. Wow, he really draws your eyes to him. You know, then when you come up to top 3 places, first and foremost, come on. Gotta say, you know what? He's literally like a new version of Flex Lewis. You know? Just that frame, the structure, the package bodies here. He came out and he hit the front double, and I just thought, wow. We saw him last year. We saw what he did last year, and we thought, okay, yeah, he won it with condition and everything else. But you could have saw, it was close between him and Cordeiro. He could have gone either way. This year when he came out, honestly, I had Sean winning this Olympia coming into the show. I was like, yeah, Sean's probably going to win it. You know, when he came out though, and come out and hit the first pose, I thought, damn, that's a shot. Wow, he's really growing. You know, so personally, in my own opinion, I would have him winning, and I'll have Cordeiro very close. And not because Cordeiro, wow, how can you? I'm a big fan of Cordeiro, man. I seen the guy train, and wow, what a monster. He's one of them small dudes that he lifts, and I think, what the hell are you made of? Wow, Jesus. He's insane. And every year he improves. Every year he breaks the boundaries, and you think, wow. So this year when he came out, there's another one. They just think, man, before you saw come out, you saw him, you thought, okay, yeah, that's the winner. Yeah. He's winning it. And then come out, you go, this is close. And you know what? Really, I'm looking to see what happens in the finals, because those 2 guys right now, as it stands for me right now, Kamal is winning the show.
Can I ask you one thing, Nigel? You were there. What do you think it's not over, is it? For any of them, you have Sean Cordeiro like a lot, or is it close? No. Or?
I think they could flip. I think I really do think in this case it's going to be about the night. I think that they're tied. To be quite honest with you, it would not surprise me if they're going into it tied. I agree. Wow. Because it's that close. I really do think it's that close. I had Angel in 3rd, actually.
Oh, wow. In 3rd.
He was just impressive. I'm sorry. He was impressive. When you look at him, you're kind of like, and I'm 5'4". Yeah. And I'm like, how the hell do you get that much muscle on that? And it's the same thing with Sean. The thing about Sean is that you have to take an account of the fact that the guy is shorter than I am. And he looks like that. But if you seriously think of it in that way, and that's the reason why George, to me, looks so out of place. George's problem is the fact that he posed down to everyone. Everything was so shrunk. He truncated his body so much in order to not look like he was as tall as he is. If I were George, I probably would just go to the open, because some of those poses were not very flattering to him at all. And it did surprise me that he did not win back poses. I thought he would be lights out on back poses with these guys. But Angel, Sean, Camille, they all brought their backs, and he really did. He looked stringy. And that was what I was trying to tell you in the show that we did, was I just felt like, just like everybody was saying, Classic is going towards taller. I really don't think 212 is going towards taller. No. I just don't think so.
Chris, talk to us a little bit about, I thought many of us in this studio, we were impressed with Derek Oslin.
Derek Oslin, yeah.
Tell us, because you weren't with us in the studio, Chris, so it's nice to hear your perspective, because we saw it. We had a live feed. It's gone now. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The people, I hope we didn't go too far, but we enjoyed doing it, didn't we? Yeah. We had a great time. And Chris, let's get your thoughts, because you weren't here in the studio. Give us your thought on the second call out there. How did you like? Because we saw leading in Derek Oslin, we were a little bit worried, correct? I remember you texted me, asking me if he was going to do the Olympia.
I was actually surprised.
Awesome, in my opinion. Give us your opinion on it.
I was very surprised at how good Derek looked.
Yeah, I was too.
You were too.
From some of his photos, he looked, not in great condition and looked like his body stopped responding. But Derek's one of those guys who is just blessed with structure and shape. Yeah. And if he, and he got himself in condition just enough to the point where he was actually shining. he was actually, to me, my eyes were drawn to him in that second call-up.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have him above Lunsford? Because I did.
No, I'm still. I have Lunsford actually going for fifth.
Okay.
With Oleg, and basically with Oleg, and then I'm having Derek for the next level.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Even though Oleg, I thought looked better than Derek Lunsford. I mean, that kid is impressive. He really is. He is going to be the future. He's
Oleg really impressed me.
Yeah.
And just going to see what's going to happen with tonight is how much Derek fills out, and if he can drop a little bit of water, that might push him over the top with Oleg, because the judges obviously like Derek's structure.
Talk to us a little bit, George, about two guys, Jason Lowe and Bo, who both had a good season in the 212 class this year.
I think they looked better early on in the season. Both
Okay.
of them. I thought they both looked not as sharp, slightly tired looking. I don't think you saw the best of them today. One thing I want to say is, what does Derek Lunsford do now? That's now 3 years in a row that promise is turned into disappointment. Does he go to the Open? Does he persist in the 212? Because to me, he doesn't look sharp enough, and he's not over. He doesn't look better than he did 2 years ago. I'm not sure what because he looked so good off season. He looked so good 6 weeks ago that when you see him in Olympia stage, and you think, wow.
Let me ask Samson an interesting question. Since none of you guys are IBB pros, how do you take it when people always ask what are you gonna do, and we just had prejudging, and we are writing his whole career off, and you are the pro.
I'm not doing that.
No. How would that make you feel? You know what I mean? I just want your perspective on that.
I mean, honestly, you know what? After coming on stage and then coming off and not having things all your way after prejudging, believe me, most of the time you don't even want to go back for the final. You literally just feel like, man, I can't believe this is happening. Or you think about all the work and everything you're doing, you realize you missed the mark. You know that. But
when do you know that? While you're up there or after? Or
once you're up there, you miss. You already know you missed the mark. When you're standing there waiting for the call out, and you're not where you're supposed to be. You know you made the mark, and you just at that moment it's crushing. So when you come off, at the point you can't think of anything. You just can't think of, okay, what do I do next? You can't think of anything because at this point it's trying to sink in. I mean, you're predicted to be, this place, this high.
A lot of pressure.
Sure, the pressure of it is so pounding, and then it's just finally falling into your, into your mind that it's not going to happen for you this time. It's not going to happen for you once again. You're not already thinking, okay, what do I do next? First, you're trying to have that actually dwell in your head, and it's a really crushing thought. I mean, think about all the pressure and everything else, and then having your world being rocked at that point.
Yeah.
It's devastating. And I believe in being on the receiving end of that a few times. I know the feeling. You're on there, and your knees are trembling. You're feeling, damn, not again. And you can't. Your mind at that point cannot think about, okay, what do I do next? It takes a few days for you to calm down and go, okay, I know I can come up with a plan now.
I think actually he should call up Ben Pikowski and ask him to coach him again. Because I think before he left, and this is no disrespect to, I think he's with Matt right now, but I think that Ben got him in such great shape 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago when he was second to Flex. And I think that Ben knows his body a little bit better. But I also think that the 212 division is not his division at all. Like Flex had to suck down to being 212, but Flex had such a perfect body that him sucking down to 212, even though that's not his best look, it was better than everybody else's. Unfortunately, Derek does not have that capability because everybody that's coming up from him, like somebody was saying, they're not afraid of his double bicep. They're not afraid of his back anymore. They've all grown into the division and everything, and they have attributes that are just as comparable as him. So I think that he needs to gain the weight, go into open. He's going to look freaky in the open and get Ben back, and he'll be fine.
this contest is not decided yet. Can we agree on that? So we have a big fight with right now it's looking like Sean Clarida and Kamal for a win.
Yeah.
Can we say that? Some of us prefer Kamal. Some of us prefer. Raise your hand. Who prefers Kamal? So actually, it's only you that prefer Sean Clarida. But you're the only one that was there.
He's there.
He was there.
Listen,
Yeah.
That makes it even more interesting for the finals.
That's worth 3 votes.
Yeah.
It's still 4-3.
I like both of them. I think both of them are great bodybuilders. And AJ, you know, I had Kamal winning from day one.
Because I know you had Kamal winning before. You know,
but I just think Sean just looks freakish. You called him a mini Flex Wheeler. I think he looks like a mini Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
I mean, he really
even
looks round. I mean, it is incredible to me. Really, I can't give them much props on this. It is incredible to me to see somebody who is 5'3" look that 3D-ish and that freaky. That is insane. Now you're right. Aesthetically, Kamal has it all, hands down aesthetically, and Kamal really knows how to pose. I think if Sean comes out, poses his ass off 5% sharper, Sean has a really good chance of winning this thing. But if Kamal just stays steady and everything and poses really well, Kamal's going to win it, most definitely. He's got to knock him out.
Can we agree that the 212 class is alive and well?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Even after all Flex Lewis is going to the Open?
I was worried. I was worried when Jose left and Flex left. I thought it could lead to a vacuum. But the new guys have stepped up. So well done to them.
Yeah. Let's move on to the fitness class. I've seen some pictures. You and us three, we didn't make it. You were here. Chris and Nigel was there. That was just a little interesting for me because I have to be a little bit honest. I'm sad we didn't make the fitness class because this fitness class was stacked on paper. And first, how was the reaction, Chris, when Oksana Machina came out? For you and for the crowd, well, you weren't there, so let's go first to you, Nigel. How was the reaction when Oksana came out? And by the way, how is it down there? Is there masks? How many people are in? How is it? Because we haven't seen. Tell us a little bit about how is the Orlando 2020 Olympia? How is the feeling down there?
So in order to get a ticket, you had to buy the package.
Oh.
So that was a problem.
Say that one more time. I couldn't understand.
So you had to buy the package.
What?
You had to buy the whole weekend package in order to see the prejudging. The prejudging was not sold individually. So that was a problem. So there weren't as many people, and I think that's the way that they meant it to be. People had on masks. So far, so good. I was surprised that people were like masking up. I think the only person who didn't like the mask was Guy Cisnero. I never saw him with a mask on, but that's Guy.
You look good, by the way, Guy. Guy Cisnero.
He looked
Guy looked really good, by the way.
I was impressed by him. Very good.
Yeah, I mean, I saw people on the forum say he should retire. I thought Guy looked great. I mean, I did. I have a friend of mine who is in the Hide camp. I will say Hide does seem like he needs to retire. He's looking a little tired. I think they over dieted him, to be frank. But anyway, when Oksana came out, it was pandemonium. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, everybody likes her. Everybody respects her a great deal. It was good. The show's just ultimately it's been a success. It's really good. It's a well-made product.
Chris, before this quick thing, you see how many how legend is in the third call out. But do you see how many different legends and storylines at this Olympia? Like you can pick like every class you can, you know what I mean? Like he's done everything in the sport. Yeah. And Guy Cisnero come back and he came back, he looked good, but he didn't get the call outs. But he won the show last year.
Yeah.
So this is not and now people saying he's gonna retire. And he won last year. You see how fans.
What show did he win? Was it a show in Korea?
Your favorite place?
Is it China, Japan, or
I think you won Japan
or Korea? Which one? Of them?
or Korea.
Hide,
No, you're talking to Hide. I believe Hide won Korea, if I'm not mistaken.
Back to Chris, fitness. Give us your. I didn't see it. You saw it. You had
Missy.
But walk us through Missy, Whitney Jones, Oksana. Who's the fourth girl? Because I wasn't there. Which is the fourth girl that impressed you before we go into it? Which girl? Did you see it properly or no?
Not properly, I was speaking to Chris.
Okay, did you guys see it properly?
I saw it properly, but I don't know who the fourth girl
Okay,
is.
so Chris, you watched it. Okay, so who is in? Well, you watched it.
I did watch it.
So
I
walk
was a
us
little bit
between-
distracted.
Walk us between. Walk us, Miss.
Same here.
Let us hear your take. Missy, Oksana, and the current champion Whitney Jones. How do you see it after the physique round? And the physique round, guys, it counts in the fitness class for 30%, and the routine is 70%. So the physique round, it doesn't win you the show, but it's a good start. Would you say so?
Yeah.
Walk us through the physique round between Missy, Oksana, and Whitney Jones.
Okay, first off, Missy was no surprise at all. Like, she was
No.
head and shoulders above everybody.
Yep.
Then I was actually expecting it to be Whitney, because Whitney usually has a very strong physique.
Yeah.
But I have Oksana ahead of her, which kind of shocked me, because Oksana really brought up her physique, and Oksana's more known for her routines than, being very great with the physique. So Oksana's going to be dangerous this year. Missy's really going to have to bring it in the routines to win this year, but I have confidence in her.
Have you, as a younger bodybuilder, have you heard, you're 24, he's a young, on the come-up bodybuilder. Have you heard about Oksana Gushina or her legacy or things like that?
No, I haven't actually.
You haven't. Have you heard about Missy or things like that?
Recently, yeah. Recently.
Why? Okay, so you heard more about Missy than Oksana, who's also that big of a legend?
Yes. Mainly because she was on a podcast recently, and then I learned more about her class and what they do,
Yeah.
her day-to-day life and stuff like that.
She's appeared in a few things in the last.
Yeah.
Oksana, I've not seen much in the last two years, so I know who she is, and I'd agree with Chris. I put Oksana second in physique.
Actually,
Definitely.
Oksana has done a lot of interviews on different channels, but it's what can we say? Missy is more. You know what? No, they've done it, but they cover it because we've had interviews with Oksana many times. It's just that we haven't. And she's a big legend. That's why I asked how the younger generation looks at the fitness class, and it still has ways to go there. It seems so. Physique round, Missy, correct?
Correct.
But saying that, guys, this is prejudging. The show is far from over, because here comes the routine, and those counts for 70%. You know.
It's a bit like being 100 metres against Usain Bolt and being told you can start 3 metres ahead. But you're still against Usain Bolt.
That's a good. That's a way to listen.
He didn't just say
Can
that.
I not get 30 metres? A little bit further.
Guys, now we're gonna go into figure. Okay? Did we watch figure, correct?
Yes.
Somewhat,
The big
yeah.
matchup coming in, everyone predicted, was Latoria Watts and Sydney Gill, with other people like Jessica Badira, Anna Banks, who was on our show today. You can check that out on the road to the Olympia. It didn't go that way. Latoria was all the way to the left. She was not called out in the middle at all. Nadia Watts look awesome. You were there, so it's always nice because for people at home, you can't really judge a show perfectly on stream. Would you agree to that?
I completely agree to that.
Why is that?
Because the physiques, I don't know, for some reason, on camera, you just don't, you just can't see the physique move the same way, and you just don't see as clear and see the muscle react the same way. It's just completely different, you can't really gauge the size and the muscularity of someone over the camera. You can see, he's a muscular person, but it's completely different when you're there. It is completely different when you're there.
So walk us your figure class and give me the 4 girl that impressed you and take us through it.
Sydney, hands down.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not even a race.
Really?
It's just,
Why
it's
do you
just
say
not. the woman, she's just got a beautiful physique. I mean, everything was popping, and I don't understand that waist. I really don't understand that ratio. It just escapes my mind every time I look at it. Once you saw her stand out, you really didn't need to look at anybody else. It's definitely Sydney. But yeah, definitely Sydney.
Chris?
Sydney far and away this year.
Wow.
Latoria, she wasn't in the same condition she was in past years.
Okay.
I mean, even from home, I could notice that. And I thought Nadia was a little bit off as well, but just not as off as Latoria. And then I thought Jessica looked amazing. I mean, Jessica would.
That was our reaction in studio as well.
Hey, Chris, do you think that out of all the classes that you watched, that actually this class was the least conditioned of all of them? It's
least conditioned.
Yeah.
Wow, that's some pretty harsh words. Not harsh words, but what do you base that upon?
I thought the majority of the girls, the majority of top women were off, which with all the rest of the classes, they were spot on. I mean, really, you'd have to find somebody who was off in all the rest of the classes. But this class, there were more women that were off than on, which was surprising because normally this class is really good for being in condition, but it wasn't this year.
Could that has something to do with, what can we say? Figure is less hardcore than women's physique, correct?
Yeah.
A lot of these girls have prepped for a whole year. They're not the figure class is not exactly the same as women's physique and women's bodybuilding when it comes to, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When you prep for a whole year, because I have females that I talk to that stepped on this stage. For instance, I can give you a quick story about Mariam Babdab. Did you see the girl from Iran?
Yeah.
Very beautiful. You remember her?
Yeah. Very pretty.
She prepped at home in a room like a little room. Her mom, she has to take care. Her mom didn't want to leave the house because she had afraid of COVID, and you know what I mean. And she has to work from home from 9 to 4. She ran the stairs up and down for cardio, and she did her weights, and she looked beautiful. But I know what she's, and these do not do the same as women's physique girls and women. But I can't say that. Maybe that's maybe go too far because I don't know what people are doing. But could that have an effect? You think on this? If it's true what he's saying, can that have something to do with it?
I mean, the thing is, as much as it is, you got to remember, everybody was in the same boat this year.
Okay.
You know, I mean, regardless what country you are, we all had to deal with something this year.
Okay.
And most of them guys have been on long prep. Most of us have been on long prep and stuff like that. So it's just, I mean, it's luck of the draw. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's just luck of the draw. You know what it is. You know.
Okay.
So you've got to judge what you see.
Correct.
Right.
In Sydney, I agree.
Okay. So Sydney, is there any chance that someone else can take it after prejudging? After the finals, I mean, what you saw now?
No.
I can't see it changing.
Okay, so we
No,
put.
that's a lock.
So just
Unless she eats pizza all day until the night show, she's not going to lose that. And even if she eats pizza, I think she'll still win it.
Okay. Well. Okay. So the fitness class, we have a fight because we don't know because of the routines. Figure, it's a slam dunk, and 212 we have two people fighting there. Okay, we have two more classes. Then we have women's physique, and guys, here was a lot of interesting stories. You were there, so let's go to Chris first. Give us your take on the women's physique class. What's your outtake on it?
First off, it was very competitive. It was a nice battle. My jaw dropped when Shanique came out.
So did we. Remember? You're like, oh.
I had been debating, you know, from what she was posting on social media, was she off? But she just came in on point. And, I mean, she has a superior structure. I mean, just everything about her. She just came out and that was it. I mean, Sarah looked great.
Sarah Bilgas, yeah.
Yeah, she was very, very close. It was a good, battle, but Sarah just isn't taking her. Even in the back shots where Sarah should, clearly win, Shanique improved enough to keep it very, very close on those shots. And I was a little bit wondering about
Chris?
Natalia.
Let me stop you 1 second. Chris, I got a very nice message right now. I'm very happy right now. I'm very happy. So I'm very happy. When I'm very happy, there's a reason for it. Let's make... It's a lot of things been going around the scenes. A lot of sacrifices being made. I'm very happy. Let's have we're gonna have a great now. And remember, we're gonna be back, when is it?
This evening.
And you know what's going down? Energy. We did a mistake. This is good raw. We did a mistake, Nigel. I haven't been sleeping for 12 days. Chris is making magic. I've been making magic. These guys have been drawing. These are professional athletes, guys at home. I give you much, well, no, you are a professional athlete. These are wannabes. You are a professional athlete. I'm not saying that way. That's disrespectful. I'm meaning, you are IBB pro. You're a professional athlete, and that we respect. We are very happy to have a pro league athlete here in the Pop Media studio. So we give guys respect for Samson. Taking you drive in 4 hours, guys. Samson drove 4 hours to be here because we all wanted to have a good time. Something bad happened. Now it's fixed, but we did a mistake. I'm so tired. We drank alcohol. We shouldn't have done it. So guys, if you're a little bit, wake up. I saw you were looking for Natalia Masonki. We're gonna get into that. But I think we killed it whole week, and now we are here. We owe our audience to show them we are the dream team. Okay. Anyway, where were we now? We were back to women's physique. Shanique Grant came up. No, first. Give us 3 girls that impressed you the most. Let's go that way. Which 3 girls impressed you the most? Because this was, I follow women's physique very closely. So for me, who impressed Chris?
Other than Shanique?
Correct.
Okay. Obviously, Sarah. I was impressed with Natalia, even though she wasn't as peeled this year. It was kind of a different look. She was a little bit fuller than she's usually been, but I kind of liked the look on her. And I was impressed with Rachel Daniels.
Oh, wait. I have to be honest, the TV is so little that I didn't see much. Rachel Daniels. She has got a lot of hype on Instagram. And I have to give you some insight. I know a lot, this women's bodybuilding physique, that's why I can talk a little bit more in those classes. But in other classes, it's you guys talking. But I feel since I run a female bodybuilding channel, and I'm privileged to follow the career a little bit more, I will give a little bit more insight on that. But other than that, as you see, you guys are speaking the most, as you should, because you're my guest, I'm just the host. But women's physique, there are some coaches around the world who feel that people are hyping people based upon hype, Instagram or whatnot. So when you say then Rachel Daniels, that's why I ask you again. That's great. Well, that's why I also just said, why did you impress you? Because I don't want no Instagram hype now. I want the real truth, Chris. So why did she impress you?
This is nothing about IG.
Okay, good. That's what I'd like to hear.
I love conditioning.
Good. Was she in condition?
She was
Peeled.
peeled.
That's what we like.
I mean, I just like to see some. That's the one thing an athlete has to be in control of. You know, your shape is God-given, your structure is God-given, but your conditioning is all up to you. And she came in just skinless.
And according to the rule book, you're not supposed to do that with physique. But anyway, get back to it.
We like it.
We like
But Chris, if she were fuller and less peeled, I think that she would have been in second.
What's he
Good point.
Wow.
Good point.
I think that if she was just a little less peeled, like 5% less peeled, because you're right, she was peeled. I mean, crazy peeled. But if she were fuller, she's right there. Next year,
Wow.
she could be very impressive. She just needs to, cut down on some cardio or something and eat some carbs.
So you have, okay. So I have Rachel.
And she can pose.
Oh,
She really can. Yeah.
Your eyes drawn to her when she's on the stage. That's the thing.
So let me ask you 2 questions then. These 3 girls. What about Valentina Machina, who we know, a little inside story for people. She did the Arnold Classic from Russia, but she couldn't go back to Russia because she will lose her spot at Olympia. So she's been in America, sleeping on the couch, just to make this Olympia. And I know her a little bit personally, and she does her own diet. And I'm not gonna say too much personal, but she eats 3 times a day. She preps on 3 meals a day. Is that, you know what I mean? You're the pro. Is that maybe not, I don't know?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Because it's different for everybody,
Okay,
right?
so she hooked up with Shelby Starnes now. 3 weeks before the O, and Shelby Starnes is someone you...
I really wait, but 3 weeks not long enough to make a big difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you look?
And, you know, Shelby's my guy because Shelby used to coach me like 5 years ago. So Shelby is a wizard, especially with women more so than men. That's what he's known for. She didn't stick out to me this time around, but I think that's not because of Shelby's doing or her doing. I think that she had some circumstances that were a little rough for her. I think that if she continues working with Shelby, she'll do really well.
Okay.
But this is not her year.
One woman, I think two women. Before we go to women's bodybuilding, there's some, it's gonna get nasty. First one is the Korean woman that we talked so much. Was that Figure?
Number 7.
I really feel we owe it to the audience to find out who that is, because while we were watching it, it took our breath, especially you.
Yeah.
Who was the woman in the figure class? She was from Korea. Do you know? She was in the first call out, all the way in the middle and a little bit on the side.
Right, yeah.
Do you know that, Nigel? Chris, do you know?
I don't know her. I don't know. Do you know, Chris?
I can't pronounce her name, but I follow her.
I really wish.
Can you spell it,
She was number
Chris?
7. She was number 7.
Okay.
It's 3 names. It's 2 short names, then a longer name.
She looked amazing.
Yeah, she was amazing. She had great quads, everything, shoulders to waist ratio was just. I had her in second, but you know.
In second.
You had her in
that was
in figure. Wow. So you had her in second. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting. Now we go a little bit before we go into women's bodybuilding. Why? It's kind of lame. We don't know her name.
Tell you what, I want to just mention Olympia. She was well out of it, but I think if she just got herself in good condition, her presentation, the way that she conducts herself on stage, Olympia Beyond, I think if she was just kept an eye on and said, stop eating that food, she would be absolutely brilliant. And I think she's definitely going to be the future. Not yet though. She needs to cut back on eating a bit.
Two things is a little bit, but women's physique, last things. We saw Anne-Lorraine Moon here, you know the French, and when she turned around, you were like, oh, she's shredded. You remember we almost, we were like, oh, remember that?
Yeah.
Before we talk, and the black woman in women's physique, that we don't know the name about. Remember we said we tried to find her on Instagram, but we couldn't find her? Brittany what? Brittany? Okay, you know what? Sorry guys, but Anne-Lorraine Moon and Natalia Coelho. Let's talk about them before we go to women's bodybuilding. Natalia Coelho, first we weren't that impressed, but when we saw in the comparisons, you see the detail.
Yes, the detail.
Nigel, you were there. Talk to us about Anne-Lorraine Moon. Do you know who it is? The shredded woman, the French woman. Chris, you know her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She was shredded. Yeah, I mean she was shredded. I'm really bad at women's physique.
Chris, Nigel, that's what's so good about this show. This Olympic experience is that we have a group of guys that watch different things.
I can't remember the names either.
But that's good. So we're trying to make people more interested in every athlete. So that's why I discussed them. So you saw her she was shredded, correct?
Shredded. Yep, she was shredded.
But she wasn't in the first call out.
No,
Okay.
because she was way too shredded.
Too shredded.
I thought she was way too shredded. I think there's some people in the show that, I mean, if you look at the rules, you know, they don't want them to be that shredded.
But you said Rachel Daniels was very shredded. That's what we liked, wasn't it? And she got like...
Yeah, no, Rachel was very shredded, but the thing about Rachel is I gave her a couple of places up because I like the way that she posed. Chris is right. She's a phenomenal poser.
Okay.
But I did say that, she needs to not be so shredded and come in fuller for that class. Now, if she wants to be shredded and big, she can go into women's bodybuilding after a couple of years. But she was ultra shredded.
That's a good segment to go into women's bodybuilding before we talk a little bit about what we're excited about a couple of hours, because soon is the moment we all been waiting for. Can you handle it, George? You're looking a little bit...
I'm just waiting for Brandon versus Phil.
Me too. Okay, let's go after women's bodybuilding. Me too. Hey, I'm always jumping off my...
You guys have it wrong. Rami. Oh.
Hey, Nigel.
You know what? I'm not going to say
my guest off usually, but out of the respect of the only reason women's bodybuilding is back is the owner of this Olympia, and the only reason we have an Olympia is because of this man. And his biggest...
We wouldn't be sitting here otherwise.
Correct. So we really owe it out of respect that that even we can have Phil Heath later and Brandon and Rami is because of this man, and his biggest passion is women's bodybuilding. So that's why I want to give it at least 10 minutes. Can we do that? Full focus before we go 5 minutes into what we look for, and then we can cut it, because we want to get excited. Can you handle this all? Because you're looking soft, bro, now. I see your eyes.
Wait. AJ, I noticed that you didn't mention the fact that Iris did not show up.
We are going into that, but first I'm just making sure. Can you handle this?
Right. I've got
you took a train?
minutes to check into my hotel.
I know.
I'll also be sleeping on that sofa.
Yeah?
There.
Look at his eyes. Can you handle this?
I don't want to be sleeping on the sofa.
No, okay.
I'll take you to bed. You can sleep.
No.
Okay, George.
Yo.
George, where's my Abalore?
Right. It's underneath there.
Let's go back into bodybuilding here. We just go back. We did live. It got over 50,000 views. Oh, nice. But I deleted it. We don't make any money on it. But I deleted 50,000 views because I felt the things were said who don't represent the brand in the best. Live, it's okay, but to have it captured forever, it's, you know what I mean? Chris, do you agree?
I agree.
It's, you know what I mean? We had a great time, but looking back at it, it's not something. He's an IBB pro athlete. What you see is okay, but it's not something to have, because I believe, how often do you see Barry DeMay a little bit tipsy, or you know what I mean?
I mean, Chris Bumstead.
Did you see press conference with Bumstead's name? Did you see the hand, and then Bria was like, "You ain't got nothing." Bumstead was, "I'm the standard now. I'm young." But
just anyway. Going back to the live stream, I think we were all very excited, and we had a great time. Thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll be doing it again for the finals.
Guys, me and Chris have not risked everything in our lives to have an epic thing and then fall apart 2 hours before the finals. So that's given up. Okay, back to before we go into what happened in women's bodybuilding, here I'm an expert, but Samson.
That class.
No. Who was missing?
All right, we got 10 times Mr. Olympia, Iris Carden not being in the show. Like what? Few minutes before they had to come up on stage.
So Nigel, you were there. What was going on?
So I actually didn't know what happened, but Tad, who was an IFBB pro back in the day, he told me that Tad, I think he's Tad the diet coach.
Yeah. Where is he from? I know who he is.
He lives in Arizona now, but he was an IFBB pro back in the day. I asked him, and he said that she pulled out because apparently she was in a car accident and she was sick. Yeah, that's what I heard. So, but I was sitting there. We were all looking for Iris. Because the same friend of mine who's with Hide, I checked in with her like maybe 3 weeks ago, and she said Iris looked great. And so I was kind of surprised that it was a scratch.
Chris, you are a man with many opinions. Very smart. You got a lot of contacts in the game. What have you heard? So this is why wasn't she there? And don't go overboard.
I heard she had some last-minute voodoo issues.
Okay. Let's stop it there.
That's a nice way of putting it.
That's yeah. But let's be respect. Okay. Wow. And you heard that she was in a car accident. So
I
we don't
heard
know.
that she was in a car accident and she was sick. So I think probably both stories kind of coincide with each other. Possibly.
Oh man, guys, I don't want to bring down the show, but
Tell you what, let's hope she's okay.
Yeah, I know. I hope she's okay, but for a lot of fans, guys, Iris Carl is a woman that has gotten a lot of hate because of the stigma that she doesn't look as feminine as the mainstream would want to. In my opinion, the women's bodybuilding is very seldom mainstream anyway. But and now she's not at the show. I really hope we get an explanation. But most important, I hope she's safe. Huh?
Yeah.
That's the most important.
I will probably have an explanation for you by wrap up. I do know.
Okay.
I do know people in her camp, so maybe I can ask them if it's not insensitive.
Because I don't think that's picking holes. I think it's if now Phil Heath didn't show up and no one talks about it, and we do the same about this, isn't that?
Yeah.
Is a dismissal, yeah.
Isn't that? I'm just asking you the question.
10 times Miss Olympia.
You gotta be. I mean, all I can say,
It's
all I'll
breaking
say-
news.
Yeah. Well, we don't know what it is. I can just say
Like, all I'll say that
I
is-
couldn't believe that I didn't saw Iris. I couldn't believe it. And you know where I was a little bit weird? At the press conference.
Yeah.
There
she wasn't
were Margie V and it was Helen Trevino. Both ladies deserved to be there. But I was so surprised I didn't say Andrea Shaw, who won Rising, who we're going to talk about later, and Iris. Iris is not at the press conference.
Yeah, but Chris, you can probably speak on this, but Iris has never had a great. She hasn't had a great love
Okay,
affair
let's
with
stop
Guy.
there.
There's a report
Anyway,
that,
But I'm just
says
saying, it
Iris
doesn't
was in-
surprise me.
what? Stop. Excuse me. What?
There was a report to say that Iris was in accident and emergency last night.
Oh.
So, yeah, so I guess Tad was right.
Well, we're going to end this episode with a get well to Iris thing because,
The legend.
guys, it's very important that a woman that has won the most titles, 2 more than Ronnie and Lee, if she's not doing the show, and we don't even mention it, and that shows you don't really give a shit then. And we do, you know? Okay, back to the girls who were there. And this, guys, forget about all what it means, because I said that before many times, so people follow me good female bodybuilding. That's a good wrap up there later also, but you guys can go and check it there and do it alone, because you're fade. But you want to get your hotel, and you need your proteins, because you have a show to win next year. Women's bodybuilding. Let's go to you first, Anthony, and we go everyone. You and this is a class because this is interesting because this is a class that me and Chris follow. Nigel, a little bit.
Yeah, you know, my buddy's Monique. So
Yes,
Yeah.
the front double. Yeah. But anyway, this is my favorite class, women. Everyone knows this. I don't stop talking about it now. But this is cool because now we have guys 212 Open Classic, IBB Pro 212 Open Classic. Classic, Open Class 212. This is the first time you saw so much women's bodybuilding, I would imagine, in your life.
This is the most muscle I've seen in women.
So, and you saw, I brought up Eddie into it, so I try to get you into it. What's your take after your first ever women's bodybuilding? Anthony, say exactly what you want. Yeah. This is live. What's your take on it as a young classic I always say classic. Is it really? As a young bodybuilder, give us your take. Today.
It's just amazing what these women can do, really. So much muscle from all kinds of ages. I mean, there was a lady you said she was 54.
Irene Anderson, yeah.
Yeah, 54 years old. She looks amazing. I mean, can you imagine if your grandma looks like that? I mean, she looks amazing.
Grandma! Bro, how old are you? 25? 24? Okay. That's a young grandma, but anyway, yeah. Oh,
dude, I'm 50.
No, oh, wow, can you imagine? Bro, wait, they're gonna do something. Can we try something? Should I call her right now and see if she picks up? On air? Let's just try that.
No, don't tell her you said that, no.
Wait, keep talking, just keep talking. George, keep talking to George. Okay, George, tell us.
Could I just say, I was taken aback by how beautiful most of them looked.
Yeah, and they look
I'll tell you
feminine
what,
as well.
Huge, loads of muscle, really lean, great front double bicep, back double bicep, hamstrings, separation from the side, and looking beautiful as well. So I'll tell you what, women's bodybuilding, if that's what it looks like, I'll be watching it again.
Yeah, it was exciting. Like when I first saw Marvelous and Andrea.
See Margie,
Margie and
impressive.
Andrea.
Andrea,
yeah.
I had Andrea winning and Margie second.
Yeah, me too.
Whoa.
Oh, they had a complete different result. They had. I'm interested to hear what they have to say because we thought the same thing. I mean, it was a close battle, but I would have said, I would have had this. I mean, I don't want to have Margie winning. I had Margie winning.
I have Margie winning.
Let's do this.
I had Margie
Stop. Let's get into let's control here. So you liked it. You were impressed. Oh, everyone's impressed. You were there. You saw the muscle up close. If you don't get impressed by that, you gotta log off. So you were impressed.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's go to it. We had the first. Okay. We saw all the ladies came out.
Yeah.
First, we had Monique Jones impress us the most first.
Yeah,
she should have been higher.
Yeah, but let's just say how we saw it. But we saw it live. Monique Jones came out and she pressed us then, and then it was Margie. So that's 2. Then it was Irene Anderson. 3.
Yeah.
And then we had Mela. When we saw Mela, you know the black woman with the beautiful shape. We were like, oh. 4. Heather Trevino, obviously. And the last one was Andrea Shaw. And the judges. It's important when we it's not always judges we give them credit. What was the first call out? It was those ladies, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. They put the ladies in the middle. They put Monique all the way on the side.
Yeah, and
Irene
they never
here.
brought her in either.
Back in.
They needed her in.
And then they had the switching. How did you see it, Chris? How did you see the first call out? We're gonna ask each person because this is actually cool. Because even though you guys don't follow women's bodybuilding, during the live stream you all had an opinion on it because we went back and forth.
Yeah.
So we start with Chris. Chris, what's your opinion on the first? Did you like the call outs? And who would give us your thoughts on the first call out?
I did like the call outs, and I was actually impressed with everyone across the board today. I thought the ladies did a great job. And I'm going to try to be objective and not be a schmo with giving my picks. I actually kind of thought Margie took it.
Okay, why?
Just the overall package. I mean, her conditioning was nailed, the separation. And she just...
Hello?
Ask him to repeat.
Can you...
I mean,
Chris,
talk...
1 second. When we make this video, we're going to make a thumbnail of each of our winners. So, who did we have to 12? Kamal?
Yeah, come on.
And, okay, so it's important to count up the votes, you know what I mean? Because this will be, you know what's cool? To be part of this show, that Chris has shown me now with this nerd skills, is that this show, we are able to put the Olympia, and we are part of discussing it. So, imagine you now, you go to Olympia, for your first Olympia, and you are the one that we have picked as the leader after prejudging. Is something hopefully you will remember, you know, on your... You okay?
Well, I'm thinking I'd be okay if Margie won. I said...
Okay, back to just for who's winner. Who did you have Margie and why? I mean, we go back to you after Nigel, then we go to you.
Yeah.
And Chris, why did you have Margie? Because this was a close battle.
I would just say that Margie nailed it. Just like an open bodybuilder, 212 bodybuilder. Her condition was there, separation, just everything was there. So I thought she just brought the best package to the stage today.
I've got Margie all the way. I really think she just walked off with it. And I mean, listen, she's got a beautiful physique, head to toe. She poses really well. When she does a front double bicep and the back, I mean, she came in as perfect as a bodybuilder could come in. I don't even know what her second act would be. It was that perfect. And everything popped. I mean, whoever is coaching her is doing a great job, doing an awesome job along with the hard work that she's doing. But really, when you looked at the lineup, and no disrespect to anybody in that lineup, because the women, like Chris said, they brought it. The one person that you kept on looking at was Margie.
Okay, thank you.
I'm a big Monique fan.
We have to. So we have to go because we are not in. Who did you have, Samson?
To be fair, you know, I told you when Gabriel first come on that I had Margie winning. And the quads, wow.
Yeah.
You know, she did the double quad shake. that was just like, come on, man, seriously? That can blow it. But then at the same time, you know, looking at Monique and seeing the conditioning.
I thought you were thinking about Andrea Shaw.
Yeah. Looking at her and looking at the conditioning she brought. And, I mean, Margie had all the size in the world, man. She had the size, she had the back. But the conditioning, you know, it's always going to be, okay, what's the judge is going to go for there? It's going to be conditioning, it's going to be size. And, I mean, Margie wasn't no way off, you know. But I just think, you know, Andrea was just that little bit dry and that little bit harder.
Anthony?
I agree with Samson. When I first saw it, for Margie was gonna win, but then when I saw Andrea next to her,
so you, two Margie and you are Andrea, so two Andrea.
The level of separation that was different to everyone else's.
Well, I've
George?
already said that I had Andrea first and Margie second, but I'd be okay if Margie won it. But Margie,
You are going to be the one to decide this because it's 2-2, so it's up to you now, Judge. You want to put you on the spot.
I'm not changing my mind. Margie's got the best stand relaxed, the best puntable bicep, best bucktable bicep.
Yeah.
But there's other poses as well, and I thought Andrea was a little bit sharper, better in the side poses as well. And Margie's not blessed with brilliant abs. I thought her midsection wasn't as good in the ab shot.
Okay. So, guys,
I think that might have been your video though, because there was nothing wrong. No, live there was nothing wrong with those abs. I think that might have been right there. Now I might understand the quality of the video a little bit better because I thought the quality. But no, there was nothing wrong with her abs at all. She was. In fact, I think that if you saw her in real life, you probably would change your mind about her conditioning.
Okay.
I thought her conditioning.
It wasn't as good as Andrea's condition. I thought Andrea's condition was a touch better. I'm not saying Margie was bad condition.
Probably.
No way. But I don't think she was as sharp as
Probably
Andrea.
not conditions. More.
I think if you go with condition,
let her respond. We like debates. Respond, Nigel, to George, please.
if you look at the criteria of bodybuilding, especially women's bodybuilding, I think that as much muscle as Margie has compared to Andrea, I think that she out-muscled her, she out-posed her. If you look at all the shots and everything, she won more shots than. So you give Margie the whole back. The back is Margie. You give Margie the side. So that only has her winning on the side.
Nigel, stop 1 second.
I'll tell you what, we'll just beg to disagree.
We've been disagree.
I can say right for sure. You know what I can say? It must be close if you have.
So yeah. Okay, guys. Let's quick one thing before I go. What are you most looking forward to as a young bodybuilder in? How long is it? When does it start? Because we don't know anything about what.
7 o'clock. It starts in less than 3 hours.
So 12-hour time
Midnight.
already?
Midnight our time.
2 hours and 45 minutes to be exact.
What are you? And you can only pick one thing.
3 hours and 45.
Yeah, we have to. So only one thing. Because now you gotta see all what sides you are on also. So what's gonna be
coming back?
So him walking out is what you're looking.
Best ever.
What about you, George?
Let's say a different thing each. I want to say I'm really, really interested, and it's not the obvious thing. I want to see what Wesley Vissers looks like.
Oh wow!
Because I think he could push right up. Because
you gotta win it.
Because I'm not sure he's going to win it, but I think he's going to look the way that we hoped he'd look. Obviously, there's Brandon versus Phil, Hadi versus Rami. There's Bumstead versus Brion. There's all those. Hunter. I can't wait to see Hunter.
Okay.
Is he going to do it?
Samson?
Sorry, I've just said a lot of things there.
I know, that's why. Samson?
Man,
I've nicked them all from you.
I can't, man. It's a hard one.
So much.
Because there's
so much.
There's so much thing to look forward to. Honestly, I'm just looking forward to the first call out.
Yeah.
Personally, I just want to see the first call out. I just think, because there's just so many names. There's too many, guys. And remember, with bodybuilding, it's not just the guys who's on and who's off. That makes counts. And between that and, everybody seems to be sleeping on William. William Bonner seems to be like, come on, this guy was second last year. I mean,
Chris,
and he won the Arnold this year.
What are you looking most forward to in less than 3 hours?
Actually, and this isn't going to be the first call out. I'm really interested in how the second call out's going to break between Hunter, Ian, Akeem.
Oh, that's a lot of for you,
Justin.
And guys, for him, who's going to most likely be battling with those guys, hopefully next year. For you, this is going to be interesting. Nigel?
So mine, of course, is going to be Rami because I think that Rami's going to really shock some people. He looks really good.
How do you know he looks really good? Based on Instagram?
He looks really good.
Now?
He looks really good in the face, which is a really good indicator for Rami. If Rami looks too full, it's a bad idea.
You sure about that?
But, oh yeah, I mean, I remember seeing Rami when he won the New York Pro. If he looks anything like he did at the New York Pro, which Dennis James seems to think, what was that?
About 7 years ago now, or what are we talking about?
What, 2013?
Yeah, 7 years ago.
Okay, so
yeah,
you're still in those days now.
No. But I'm saying that if he comes in that type of conditioning, a little bit bigger, I think he's got a good shot of winning. And Dennis James has gone on record that says that he looks better than he did when he won the New York Pro. That's scary. That's a scary look right there.
Chris,
the other one is.
Yeah, Dennis James has nothing to lose by making outrageous claims.
No, you're correct. And normally I don't even listen to Dennis.
Okay. But
the other person I'm looking forward to is Antoine Valette because I did see him at the gym and he did take his shirt off because Antoine does not hide. He looks really good. He looks shredded and he looks really well prepared. So I don't know where he's going to land, but I think he will surprise some people on the way that he looks. He's an up and comer. I really like his shape and where he's going.
So that was our first reactions after what we all been waiting for the first start. We are soon going and see what we all been waiting for. Classic. Is it what do we have? Classic? Is it classic?
Classic this year?
No, now.
Is it classic tonight?
I have no idea. What do we have?
Classic is tonight. Yeah,
classic is tonight. We got the open. We got
tomorrow.
No, you're right. It is tomorrow. That's right. Classic.
Come on, man. And you're there.
I'm sorry.
How can we take this guy's serious predictions now?
Like you have not slept. I had to do my day job and go to bodybuilding.
Okay, so what do we have to look forward to for night before we go? What do we have so we know? Open, what more? Everything else we've just seen. Hello.
Open
okay.
212, women's, all the women's, divisions.
To see all this, you gotta log into Olympia Productions.com. And this was our first wrap-ups. And you can come back because we're gonna do a live stream. This time it's gonna be a little bit more control. No, we're gonna have a good time.
We're gonna have a good time.
Because the energy when we hear that Brandon Curry comes out and when you see the first comparison, Hobby Brandon, Phil Bonac, Rami. Okay, guys.
Hunter.
We come back to muscle development for more action, and we are out.